What if the problem with your money is not that you do not earn enough, but that your money does not have clear goals? Think about the last time you checked your bank balance. Maybe the number looked fine. Maybe there was $1,200 sitting there, and for a moment, it felt safe to spend. But then rent was coming. A credit card payment was coming. Groceries were not paid for yet. A subscription was about to renew. And suddenly that $1,200 was not really $1,200 anymore. That is the real problem budgeting is supposed to solve. A budget is not just a list of restrictions. It is a plan for how you will use your money before life uses it for you. Without that plan, money disappears quietly, not always because of one huge mistake, but because of many small decisions that were never measured. According to the Federal Reserve's 2024 Household Survey, published in May 2025, only 51% of adults in the United States said they spent less than their income in the previous month. Another 19% said their spending was higher than their income, and 30% said their spending was about the same as their income. That means almost half of adults were either breaking even or spending more than they brought in during that month. That is not a tiny budgeting issue. That is the financial equivalent of driving with the fuel light on and hoping the road is short. Before we continue with this video, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. It would be great if as many people as possible could learn how to budget their money properly. And the pressure is not only about spending habits. The same Federal Reserve report said that in 2024, 37% of adults reported their monthly spending had increased from a year earlier, while 32% said their monthly income had increased. So for many people, expenses were rising faster than income. The report also said that 60% of adults felt that price changes over the prior year made their financial situation worse, and 79% of adults took at least one action in response to higher prices. The most common actions were switching to cheaper products, reported by 63% of adults, using less of or stopping using products, reported by 61%, and delaying a major purchase, reported by 46%. So in practice, people are already budgeting, even when they do not call it budgeting. They are buying cheaper brands, they are delaying purchases, they are reducing savings, they are trying to make the numbers work. But the problem is that reactive budgeting is stressful. It happens after the pressure arrives. A better budget starts before the pressure arrives. The first step is to define your financial goals. This matters because a budget without a goal is just numbers on a page. The goal gives the money a reason. For example, I want to save more is too vague. A clearer goal would be, I want to save $2,400 for an emergency fund in 12 months. Now the math becomes simple. $2,400 divided by 12 months is $200 per month. That is the power of a specific goal. It turns a wish into a monthly number. The second step is to calculate your net income. Net income means the money you actually take home after taxes and deductions, not your salary on paper, not your gross income, the real amount that lands in your account. If your paycheck after taxes is $4,000 per month, that is the number your budget should start with. If your income changes every month, the article recommends averaging 3 to 6 months of income, but also building your budget around your lowest monthly income to avoid shortfalls. Here is a simple example. Imagine your last 6 months of take-home income were $3,200, $3,800, $2,900, $4,100, $3,600, and $3,000. The average is about $3,433, but the safest baseline is $2,900 because that is the lowest month. If your budget works on $2,900, then stronger months become opportunities, not rescue missions. The third step is to list your expenses. This is where many budgets either become useful or fall apart. Start with fixed expenses. These are predictable bills like rent, mortgage, car payments, insurance, internet, or loan minimums. Then list variable expenses. These change month to month. Groceries, gas, utilities, dining out, entertainment, shopping, and transportation. Then include savings and debt repayment. This might be emergency fund savings, retirement contributions, or extra payments toward credit cards or loans. The important part is not perfection. The important part is visibility. For example, if someone discovers they spend $300 a month eating out while only saving $50 a month, that is no longer a vague feeling. It is a clear trade-off. They can decide to reduce eating out to $200, move $100 into savings, and increase monthly savings from $50 to $150. That one decision would change annual savings from $600 to $1,800. Same income, different plan. After income and expenses are clear, the next step is choosing a budgeting method. One simple method is the 50-30-20 rule. With this method, 50% of income goes to needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. If take-home income is $4,000 per month, that would mean $2,000 for needs, $1,200 for wants, and $800 for savings and debt repayment. The strength of this method is simplicity. The weakness is that real life does not always fit perfectly into clean percentages. If rent is very high, the 50% category may not be realistic, but it is still a useful starting point. Another method is zero-based budgeting. This means every dollar gets assigned a purpose. It does not mean spending every dollar. It means every dollar has a job. For example, with $3,000 of monthly take-home income, someone might plan $1,250 for rent, $300 for groceries, $150 for utilities, $100 for phone and internet, $200 for transportation, $200 for insurance, $250 for debt repayment, $300 for savings, $150 for fun, and $100 as a buffer. Total, $3,000. Nothing is floating around without a purpose. If money is not assigned, it usually gets absorbed by impulse spending. A third method is the cash envelope system. In the traditional version, you withdraw cash and divide it into envelopes for different categories. For example, $400 for groceries, $150 for gas, and $100 for entertainment. When the envelope is empty, spending in that category stops until the next period. This method works because it makes limits visible. You do not need to guess if you are overspending. The envelope tells you. Today, the same idea can be done digitally, with separate accounts or budget categories. But whichever method you choose, the last step is the same. Track, review, and adjust. This is where many budgets fail. People create a beautiful plan once, then never come back to it. But a budget is not a stone tablet. It is a living document. The article recommends tracking spending daily or weekly, reviewing the budget monthly, and adjusting it after major life changes like a new job, moving, or unexpected medical bills. This matters because your budget from January may not fit your life in April. Your income might change. Your rent might increase. Your grocery spending might rise. A new subscription might appear. A medical bill might land like a tiny thunderstorm in the mailbox. So the goal is not to create the perfect budget once. The goal is to create a budget that can keep up with real life. And this is where Pocketguard helps turn the theory into a system. Instead of building everything manually in a spreadsheet, Pocketguard lets you create a custom budget based on your situation. Connect your accounts and track spending through the month. The app can organize your budget into categories, show your progress, and help you see when you are getting off track. This solves one of the biggest budgeting problems: manual tracking. Most people do not fail because they cannot understand a budget. They fail because updating the budget becomes another chore. Pocketguard also helps with recurring bills and subscriptions. These are the expenses people often forget because they happen automatically. A streaming service here, a gym membership there, an app trial that quietly turned into a paid subscription. Pocketguard can identify bills and subscriptions, show them in one place, and send notifications before upcoming charges. That matters because a budget is much more accurate when recurring expenses are visible before they hit. Then there is leftover. Leftover is the number that shows how much money is safely available after bills, budgets, goals, and debt payments are accounted for. It is not just your bank balance. It is closer to the real answer to the question, can I afford this? For example, your bank account might show $1,000. But if $700 is already planned for rent, bills, savings, and debt payments, your real spending room may be only $300. That difference is everything. Pocketguard's leftover feature is designed to calculate that remaining amount and update it as new transactions come in. So instead of guessing, you can check one number before spending. Pocketguard also has Spending Insights, which helps analyze where your money goes by category, merchant, account, or custom groups. This matters because the budget is not only about planning the future. It is also about learning from the past. If your spending shows that dining out, subscriptions, or shopping are higher than expected, you can adjust with facts instead of guilt. So the simple budgeting formula looks like this. First, define a goal. Second, calculate your real net income. Third, list fixed expenses, variable expenses, savings, and debt payments. Fourth, choose a method: 50-30-20, zero-based budgeting, or envelope budgeting. Fifth, track and review regularly. And finally, use a tool like Pocketguard to make the system easier to maintain. Because the goal of budgeting is not to make money feel smaller. The goal is to make your choices feel clearer. A good budget does not say, "You cannot live." It says, "Here is what you can do without hurting your future." And when you know that number before you spend, money becomes less of a mystery and more of a plan.